Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to LCK 2019 Summer. It is the final match of Week 9. Only one more regular season week to go. After this, we will have all of those playoffs teams locked down to see who's going to be able to make that run to Worlds. Only 3 teams can make it. We got 7 vying for that playoff spot, although Kingzone's chances just went down drastically after that loss against Griffin. And also the way that they lost, not going to inspire that much confidence in the team. However, now we've got the Afreeca Freecs and GenG off to it one more time. And GenG were on a 2-match winning streak before this week, and they lost their match most recently against Griffin, as we saw just dismantle Kingzone also. Griffin playing very well. GenG need to repair a lot of things, actually, after their most recent match.
And, I mean, Afreeca, they really need today's win to continue vying for a better seed if they're going to make it into the playoffs. GenG have been a little bit all over the place, actually, in the second round, Robin, of Summer 2019, where Afreeca really did fall off, but then they've been making some people believers again, and then not so much as well.
It's classic Afreeca, right? They're consistently inconsistent. And after their loss against Sandbox, it was relatively competitive, but Sandbox did get the better of them in those 3 games that they played. GenG, however, they went from playing a very proactive Peanut that was able to get work done, even if he was still playing his rather slow junglers, his tanky junglers like he likes at the moment, his Juanis, things like that. It didn't happen at all against Griffin. It was honestly GenG just falling over in the early game and continuing to try and stumble. Rich got that sub in after Fly. We'll have confirmation as to whether he'll be back in the mid lane here for this series coming up very, very soon. He was able to win one of those games, but was then unable to get over the line in the next one. But you can understand why Fly was subbed out. CuVee absolutely smashed him. And now Ucal's going to have an opportunity to take on a GenG mid laner of choice. 3 of them have now been fielded thus far this season, as Rich being the most recent, but Kuzan starting off, and then Fly feeling reinvigorated, coming back with his Viger, things like that. And then that Lissandra game left a whole lot to be desired.
And taking a look at some of the points of the match, I'm the one going to the World Qualifier. Both teams need this win for the playoffs and the World's Gauntlet seed. Playoff decided if GenG wins, Griffin, Damwon, Sandbox, SKT, GenG will be going to the playoffs. If Afreeca wins 2-1, Griffin automatically advance to playoffs. Afreeca Mechanics definitely has high highs, but also very low lows. How will they show up today? And then last but not least, GenG utilize all 3 KFC mid laners. Which one of them will go up against Mr. World Class Ucal?
And I'm confused as to how you spell Rich with a C. That's a toughie. But Kuzan, Fly, and Rich, I guess the C, they're just skipping a couple of letters to I don't know, to get their value bucket out of this one. It's a very confusing situation there as far as the acronyms are concerned, but I'm sure it makes a whole lot more sense to the Korean viewers than it does to us. Because maybe it's because you saw there was no KFC actual English acronym in the Korean, so therefore I think that's where things all fall apart. For the translation, let's have a look at some of these statistics. Baron power play, pretty damn good on the side of GenG. Otherwise, everything looking a little bit in the middle. Baron percentage, 5th means absolutely in the middle, but 10th for first turret just means that GenG don't play very fast in the early.
And win rate with first turret, though, almost 91%.
I mean, they don't do it as much.
Yeah, they don't do it
but it's a high percentage. It just shows that if GenG ever get their very slow-moving team compositions off to a good start, then things generally go very poorly for their opponents. But I really like how these 2 teams match up. Afreeca have been playing more fast and loose. We talk about them as the young mechanics crew of the LCK, and GenG like the Glacier of the LCK. The team that likes to just slowly get things done. Didn't work against Griffin, as we saw. It didn't work for Kingzone against Griffin either. We're going to check out this series, and this was a good kill. You know, they had some moments, and they did win one of the games, so it can't be all bad. As Rich making his debut, very exciting for people that have been Heroes of the Storm fans in the past. The man was a prodigy for Korean Heroes of the Storm.
And I believe he's only been back since February of this year.
Hasn't been on this team for very long at all.
And playing League of Legends. I know that he's hit 1K LP. in Challenger on Korea.
We also know that he's a Kiana player, which is exciting. The band's certainly switching when it comes to their series against GenG. As soon as he made his way in, those Kiana bands coming in every single time. So we have a look at this series. Afreeca versus Sandbox it was a weird one. Honestly, there were mistakes on both sides, but ultimately a few more of them for the Afreeca squad. As that was pretty smoothly. Sin Mechanics coming in from Dread.
Ghost and Joker is going down pretty simply right there as they pick up the 2 kills. And Dove, as you like to call him, Dove.
I'm just a fan of soap, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, red buff calculator.
I can respect that. You're a very clean person.
That's what I do. Yeah, gotta have something.
As Joker trying to run for his life, doesn't matter, just being dogged down by aiming in this highlight. We'll see if the Kiana thing continues to reign true. However, key player comparison, Ruler versus aiming.
That is a large damage percentage number for aiming. The guy has been inting it to win it recently. He's been playing a hell of a lot of the Kaiser and does like to just dive in there first, get as much damage done as possible, and just doesn't care.
Yeah.
If he dies or not, the initiation Kaiser method, and he actually announced it. If you remember back to the players on voice towards the end of one of their most recent victories, it was aiming saying, "How was my initiation? How did I go?" As he dove into the back line and was able to get a few kills before he went down and ultimately won the team the game. So nicely played so far here from aiming, but he does still make a few of those catastrophic errors that we've seen only out of him. He's the man that likes to arcane shift into unwarded brushes and instantly get killed against the Skarner on the opposing side. So odd decisions made by him, but sometimes they're genius. As it is going to be GenG taking to the Rift first, and the man in the mid lane will be Rich once again. Coming back for his 3rd appearance. We'll see whether he can get that win rate back above 50%, currently sitting exactly at 1-1 so far. See whether that Kiana is going to be available. I haven't had the pleasure of casting Kiana so far. A couple of games from Lava and one from BDD, but all of them losses. See whether Rich's Kiana skills are going to be on display today.
Well, we'll see what happens here, as this is a pretty bold move. With each match counting, the fact that Rich all of a sudden is coming in at the very end of the split would probably suggest that he must be doing well in scrims or something to that nature.
I want to sort of, so that you guys sort of understand quite how good Rich is, I will talk about his stats, but first let's introduce the Afreeca Freecs into LoL Park. They will be on the red side despite their coloring. And this is a team that, honestly, you just never know what to expect. They have come out and they've been absolute gods of the Rift, and they've been pretty woeful at times as well. So which flavor of Afreeca Freecs will we get? How much hair will NoFe have at the end of the day? These are all questions that we need to find out the answers for in our final match of week number 9. No changes on the Afreeca Freecs roster, but Rich, the new mid laner for GenG. I believe they haven't switched up anything else other than, apart from Songwon making his way into the jungle a few times and Roach appearing a couple of times. It has been mostly the mid laners that have been switching in and out. Kuzan playing most of the first round robin, and then Fly coming in for the second. Team looking better with Fly there, but it didn't look better when Fly was piloting his notorious Lissandra that was about all he could play in the spring season.
Well, hit me with it, Atlas. I
yeah?
need to know some more Rich facts.
All right, let me give you some Rich facts. Let me talk to you about how good he was at winning in the years 2017 and 2018. He participated in 3 tournaments.
Okay.
On KSV, which was then, MVP Black, which was then KSV Black, which was then GenG.
Okay.
He stayed on the same team with the same players. He came first, he came first, he came first. Then 2018 came around, he came first, he came first, he came first, and he came first.
Okay.
They were just the best team in Heroes of the Storm wherever they went. So Rich looking to see whether he can bring some of that winning back into the League of Legends scene for the same organization that he was playing for in Heroes of the Storm.
Seems like a pretty bold move there to see if GenG can end up getting first in Summer here.
Well, I mean, it is still possible.
Now it's making sense to me.
It is still possible.
What they're attempting to do.
That
they're either trying to ruin his history.
I think that we've just uncovered the true anime storyline.
Yeah, that's...
I think you've done it.
Yeah. Well, the bans here in game number 1. Gragas, Talia, Jace, banned away by GenG. On the flip side, though, for Afreeca, Yuumi, Tahm Kench, and Skarner have been banned away. So, no Kiana removed yet, as Aatrox being picked up first. There's a lot of champions he's vulnerable to. Ezreal's one of them.
Well, we'll see whether the Kiana is something that Rich wants to take into the Azir. Is something that's been played into Azir twice so far in the LCK, so it might be something that Rich decides to do. But Xayah Rakan could also just come in here, and life has been very good on that Rakan pick. Unsurprising that that's going to be locked down. And now we're going to get a Kiana red side ban. I'm just going to be sad.
Is that it?
I'm just never allowed to cast Kiana.
Never allowed to have any fun.
Yeah, I had a peek at the script. That's just how it works.
That's how it goes sometimes.
Yeah.
Alice says, Cannon.
Well, that means that I'm looking at the mid lane Aatrox, potentially. We'll see whether CuVee is going to try and go for some sort of counter pick on the top side of the map. Sejuani going to be the first ban against Peanut. An understandable one. It's been his go-to for a very long time.
Let's see what GenG want to ban away. At this point, they could just try to pinch the support champion pool.
A lot of different options, yeah.
Yeah.
And you're exactly right. Look at you peeking at the script yourself. Naughty boy going to go.
It's what I have to do, you know. Senan not amused with the support ban right there, as Jarvan.
Do they ban Leona? Do they go for like as many anti-Rakan bans as possible on this side? Could potentially. I mean, Senan's a bit of a go-getter. But I don't think that that's what they're going to opt into, as Dread is going to have his Lee Sin taken away, and I really like this. Peanut has been staying away from the Lee Sin in recent days.
Where's the Galio? Okay, it's Senan.
Yeah.
No, let's not say that.
Let's go for the E-Flash. Let's go for that E-Flash.
You can't even...
Yeah, he's just going to walk at them. He's just spamming that flash button. That don't work no more. Nuh-uh. Oh no, okay, so Senan's got a bit of redemption to find. His Alistar has, in the past, certainly left a lot to be desired. So we'll see whether him, paired up with aiming on the Ezreal, are going to be able to get work done, as that's a Twisted Fate. Okay.
They're hovering it.
That would be a different pickup here for Rich, as Kiana's locked in. There we go, okay. That was something that I forgot to mention with the fact that Jarvan was banned, is that Kiana just managed to get all the way through. Silas also going to be picked up. That could be going into the hands of Peanut, unless Peanut wants to do some Aatrox jungle shenanigans and hand the Silas off to somebody else. But so far, GenG have themselves a very powerful draft if they can make the Kiana actually work here in this mid lane.
Yeah, and it looks like Olaf is being hovered for Dread.
Not going to be. It's going to be his famous Elise, his early game powerhouse that he often tends to get himself into some worrisome situations with in the late game, but often what he's done is create an early game that's just so good for Afreeca that it doesn't matter. So I really like this out of the Afreeca Freecs, continuing to go down the route of early game power from the jungle, but then also having that split push, having the team fight of the Azir, and then having the Ezreal for the mid-game bridge. Really, really strong stuff here from Afreeca's side, but I just don't think the straight-up team fighting will be able to stand up against GenG, but it has the versatility.
Yeah, they have the split push inside of the cannon, and they have the flexibility, the repositioning tools available on the Azir and Ezreal. And adding that off, I mean, with the fact that the Azir and Ezreal can go a little bit later in the game, and with those options available, they'll have some gears that they can turn on. But on the flip side for GenG, with the Xayah Rakan, Kiana, Silas, and then right at the very top there, Aatrox, they definitely have a bit of versatility themselves, but they have an extremely strong early game wake up.
Well, I want to see whether this Kiana works. Rich was known for his DPS play, played a lot of champions that were very similar to this in the game that he played before. So So looking forward to seeing what he can make on the champion that was elected to be banned every single game that he played. In the previous series, his debut was on the Aatrox. He then played another game on the Aatrox. So far he's 1-1 on that champion, and I'm excited to see him on not only a new pick for him, but a new pick for a lot of LCK players. Only Lava and BDD having played it so far. Let's see how the Kiana goes as we get into game number 1 of our final series of the night. GenG versus Afreeca Freecs. All right, Afreeca fans in full voice, but the GenG fans, as usual, very, very loud as Rich just getting his hula hoop working in the mid lane. And do you know what I love about this? Rich, sort of known for as a Heroes of the Storm prodigy, and now has an ultimate called Supreme Display of Talent.
Ooh.
Amazing stuff. He has the audacity to have the Supreme Display of Talent.
Well, he's gonna need to cut through the stuff.
He's gonna have to terror shape
Cut
his
through the
way
sands.
to a victory.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
there you
we
go.
Using his Edge of Ixtal. Now we've used every ability name so far. Just have to get some royal privilege in there, and then we've covered everything. All of the bases done.
You're going places that I didn't think were possible.
Well, I mean, that's what I like to do.
And
I like to show you a whole new world.
I want to point out, by the way, for people that aren't here at LOL Park, that GenG has the best lighting. Okay, these yellow colors, they're fantastic.
Ooh, they are actually really nice. And
Yeah,
normally I'd look at a yellow and I'd be like, not a fan. I'm not a huge fan of like yellow just in general as far as like lighting is concerned.
Ooh, you don't really see it that much here.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
Not really. But this is a really nice warm yellow. I'm a fan.
Very comforting.
Okay. I feel like we're about to sit down at a fireside as Ruler decides not to pull the blades. He's level 1, so we can't. Never mind. Looking to see who's going to win this race to level 2. Aiming in Senan. Pretty comfortable right now. Senan hasn't really stood out of the brush just yet. And is the passive called Triumphant Roar now? Now that you get the little bit of health back, but it's not actually a button.
Ooh.
I forgot. It's probably shouldn't have admitted that. I apologize, everyone.
It's alright. As
the old Alice has been through a few different iterations over the years.
80 Cannon is the choice for Kiin. He has the bone plating on him as well. Electrocute on the Azir, as well as the Elise.
Yeah, of course, Dread really liking a very aggressive style when he plays the Elise. Lovers duo getting shoved in by Senan and Aiming, who to get control of the minion wave. But it's not really anything to worry about. That wave's going to bounce back, and it looks like Ruler's doing absolutely fine as far as the farm. Even picks up that one minion that was about to go begging.
Well, this time around, the Cannon in top lane, it's not like the former series of the night between Doran and Rascal, as this Cannon is already off to a CS lead, and he's getting chip damage onto the turret, and Peanut being forced to concede.
Yeah,
the
didn't actually just assumed that Dread was there, right? Didn't want anything of it at all. As he walks over, he's going to take Agatha instead. I think that's pretty heads-up play as Life is going to get headbutt pulverized, taking a fair bit of damage there as Life has elected for the Unsealed Spellbook, and that's why it took so much damage. No Aftershock to avoid the burst. But he's going to be able to get a fair bit of his health back and isn't going to be too worried. GenG just wanting to survive in this lane, get Ruler to his carry potential as quickly as possible, and he's been really prioritizing his pickup as Senan. Takes a bit of time. Another headbutt pole comes down. The bell's coming in. That's his first blood. Going a little bit too close to the sun, as our friend Brendan Valdez would say, and Life is going to bite the dust.
That is a very surprising death. Even getting the heal out of Ruler.
Yep, Cocoon going to go wide here as Dread's going to take turret shot, just going to try and shove this wave out. As Rich is going to terror shape his way into finding some more of these different geological forms, I guess. Just, you know, pick and river most of the time.
Let's just take a look at this. Life knocks up Senan, but then just gets locked up with the combo.
Yeah, it's just better play out of Senan and Aiming. And maybe a little bit of disrespect from Life, who chose the moment in the middle of a small skirmish to decide that it's time to ward. is not what you want to see.
Coming back into the live game here, Elise with an Amp Tome and a Dark Seal.
Oh, that's the dread we don't love.
Recognizing that the mid and top laners, they're gonna almost always have priority when they want. They're always gonna be in the driver's seat. And so it's not important how quickly she gets to the games or trying to match the Sylas, but rather just how much she can offer inside of them, as CuVee almost, yeah, almost a little bit too far up as Elise is on the left-hand side. And Sylas, he doesn't have any jungle to eat right now, as Elise is just going to look to constantly keep creating pressure and then rely on rubber band camps to stay ahead of the Sylas.
Yeah, you can see Rich just picking up the river over and over again whenever he has the Terra Shape available, and trying to cycle through as many as he possibly can. Do you rate the brush one, the stealth? How do you feel about that particular augmentation?
I still don't really know how I totally feel about Kiana, just overall.
Okay.
And also, we were looking up her stats, I think, recently, right? She hasn't gotten a win.
She's not exactly doing very much winning internationally. Yeah, she's had some rough times. I'm not sure how she's doing in the LPL, but I know here in the LCK she's doing woefully.
Now, interestingly enough, have not gotten to see her all that much, and because of that, also matchup knowledge is going to be a little bit weird. Being down 25 CS, though, at 7 minutes, not entirely certain how the Kiana Azir matchup goes.
The way I see Kiana is I see her like Talon, basically. You know, she's a push and roam style champion. Likes to build Tiamats, likes to get out of the lane, and likes to start getting things done that way, because her Q is a decent wave clear tool, especially when you can augment it with the right scenery. And Rich is demonstrating that for us right now, considering a roam towards the top side. Kiin fairly far up this lane, as CuVee wants to be able to land this first bout of CC. Rich is going to make his way in. The Audacity comes down. Ultimate pushed into the wall. The explosion damage going to come in as Kiin going to burn to death. And Rich hands over the assist and picks up the kill. Really nice play from this Kiana early.
Yeah, and it alleviates all of the pressure that was present up in top lane, at least temporarily. Kiin does have teleport. He's going to be able to return to that lane. And then a really nice...
Well, now Rich can theoretically gank his own lane. That would be cool.
Yeah, that would be pretty interesting, wouldn't it? But Peanut doing an excellent job not allowing Ucal to get any of the plates by being there in mid, as meanwhile, camera pans down into bottom. 2 turret plates have already been taken away.
Yeah, this is an Ezreal that's going to be a real problem. You can see the farm is pretty even, but based on first blood goals as well as those couple of plates. But Afreeca have all the control in the world down here. 1.2k is going to be enough to get them over the line pressure-wise in order to take down this very early Ocean Drake, which is fantastic for everyone apart from Kiin. Going to be regenning that health and mana like nobody's business. Let's check this one out one more time.
Yeah, Kiana just comes straight up. Kiin gets pushed right against the wall. World Ender cast by CuVee just for good measure and making sure that they were going to be able to get that no matter what.
And it was really cool use of the Terra Shape there as well. It was a River Q and then immediately a just regular ground ultimate. So making sure that she's threading them Terra Shapes in every now and again. Like it. Still trying to work out where the real skill expression is from Kiana, just because we haven't seen many of them be super successful, and I'm excited to see what Rich can show us.
Yeah.
On this pickup, which a lot of teams have already recognized is one of his power picks. At this point in time, Griffin not wanting to deal with it whatsoever yesterday. He's down 30 CS, so not exactly having the greatest time in the lane, but the push and roam power is now going to come in, as Rich does have that Tiamat done, and this full minion wave is going to get knocked down by the turret largely, as Ucal's still making his way over. No cannon creep there to try and soak up a few of those hits.
Kiin, interestingly, taking the top lane push really slow, as Peanut looking like he's going to be the one that will eat this blue buff.
Yeah, it looks like Rich isn't too worried about it. As, maybe he holds onto it. Just going to be taken by the Silas. Not too bad at all.
So I really like how Kiin is holding the lane on his side of the map. That'll force CuVee to play a little bit more respectfully, but in the event that Dread is ever nearby, if CuVee ever makes a mistake, can obviously just really easily wrap around into top lane and get the kill.
And it's now looking like things were very, very lucky for Afreeca in the early game, because Dread hasn't been able to find too many inroads as far as getting off to a good start in the early game, which is what he's normally very known for. On this Elise picker, Senan makes his way into this mid lane, clears out a control ward. Rich is going to be fine, but going to be in some darkness towards the sides of his lane. Ruler and aiming, just sparring. Slash has golden control, actually gets in there straight away, aiming in trouble. Flash and the Arcane Shift enough to get out, as Peanut's going to dive forward, looks for Ucal. There's going to be the special delivery onto Dread, and Kiana can't get there in time. Ucal taking a bit of damage, but the ultimate's going to do basically nothing. Picks up some grass, spreads it onto the Spider, but the Spider didn't care.
And that was a really beautiful alley-oop right there.
Yeah, straight
Ucal
into the cocoon.
And it alleviates all the pressure that maybe Afreeca could have been feeling on the map, as Ezreal was going to be forced to take a little bit of a backseat after Life and Ruler were almost able to bring him down. 2 minutes until Cloud Dragon ends up coming onto the map. It's not, unfortunately, the best dragon for Afreeca to roll if they are in the driver's seat, but we'll accept it, as Peanut, he whiffs right there, and it almost looks scripted. Where Silas ended up after his combo, and where the Shurima Emperor's Divide was able to throw him to Dread.
Wasn't quite able to hijack too much there either. Didn't pay a lot of attention to the ultimate out of the Silas, but Peanut wasn't really getting too much done. See whose ult he's going to steal now as he moves on over. Look to clear out some vision here on the bottom side. As speaking of vision, there is about 1 billion wards for the Afreeca Freecs on the top side of the map. Shelly should be there if they ever want to grab it. Peanut is going to steal away Bertha and then move on down and possibly help go for a potential dive. Amy's going to turn up alone. No flash available as Peanut blast cones as he finds Senan. And that control ward going to be cleared out by Dread. But GenG do have all of the information available and grab themselves some plates on their side of the bottom lane as well.
And it does look like the game is slowing down ever so slightly. It's only a 1.2k gold lead right now, as CuVee, he's holding his own now against the AD Cannon. Still has yet to complete the Blade of the Ruin King.
Yeah, the thing that I find really interesting is the discussion about how these two teams scale. Because we just don't know exactly what Rich's job is going to be as far as the late game is concerned. I assume that he's going to be playing around, you know, side lanes a lot, trying to get these skirmishes happening, but what does that mean for a late game team fight? They've got the Xayah Rakan, they've got the team fighting god Aatrox that we saw Doran be so successful on earlier, and Peanut can be very versatile in what he decides to steal. In fact, Slicing Maelstrom is going to be much better in the hands of this Silas than it will be in the hands of Kiin. But still yet to see where Rich is going to fit in and what he's going to make of this champion as the game goes on. So the identity of GenG is something that GenG is going to have to show us as we get to the late stages, which is really interesting.
Rich looking for yet another roaming play here.
Okay, we've got another grand entrance from Live. Aiming. Only needs the E in order to survive. Just Arcane shifts himself to safety. Okay, Rich is going to dive in once again. Another explosion on the wall, but it's a 1-for-1 this time. Ucal makes his way forward. Is going to be able to get that extra shield as now CuVee has to get out of here. Peanut over to the side. No chase to come in. And it's just a 1-for-1, but they get the teleport out of the mid laner.
And on the flip side, though, Dread trying to at least capture something on the right-hand side of the map. Looking like he's going to be able to pick up the Cloud Dragon for his team. And so we'll see what they can roll next. Ideally, if you're an Afreeca fan, you want a Mountain Dragon. But it does look like it's going to be another Cloud.
Yeah, it's an overcast day. We got some storms, we got some wanting to stay in and not really go out and participate in outdoor activities. Style Dragons. That's how it's going to work. Bit of a hurry.
Going to be first turret. Now going down.
Yep, and that's going to go into the hands of Aiming as well, just after those plates fell, so not going to get that extra gold. GenG are going to take Shelly, but like we were just saying, no plates to be available and just going to be able to get map control. With that one, potentially, depending on where they can get it down and what they can do with it. Ucal, you can see getting frisky in the mid lane. He is 50 CS ahead. At 15 minutes, which ain't too bad. Rich, of course, I mean, it's going to be very difficult to farm against the Azir, who punishes melees very effectively. Let's have a look at this one once again. 1-for-1 working out quite nicely. The flash good from Kiin to make sure that Rich died. Ucal trying to get the damage back, but respecting that Peanut has been waiting.
It was really surprising Rich's positioning, allowing himself to be locked up by the slicing Maelstrom and the turret range as well, given that he also had flash. So a nice teleport in from Ucal, able to at least salvage the situation.
Yep.
And as we return to live, though, it's still only about a 2,000 gold advantage. We're going to see how GenG handle this mid-game transition, though, because that's going to be really where their team composition would be liking to come online. The issue is that the Ezreal, he's pretty healthy coming out of laning phase. Azir already at his main core item, and then the Kennen with the Blade of the Ruin King eventually will get to a point where he can start repelling Aatrox and create a pretty consistent split push threat on the side lane.
Yeah, and now we're going to have to see whether Rich can get to a point where he can augment his team enough to stop those split push plays from being possible. Because if you lose sight of the Kiana, she comes in, she explodes one of your side laners, then GenG can utilize that tempo advantage to create themselves some leads. But if it's not able to happen, then it might just be Afreeca Freecs being stronger and winning the game. Because we spoke about this, their composition just has a lot of flexibility, but not if they get out-rotated like this. There's a couple of moves that GenG have had in advantage. There's the engage. They're diving onto Dread. Doesn't find too much. Grand Entrance also going to be countered, but the Battle Dance is pretty strong. Good knock up there from CuVee. As Shelly gets another charge. That is just a trade-up in every way for GenG, but things almost got dicey for GenG there.
And now Afreeca, they're trying to push back, see what they can achieve. CuVee, Peanut here in the mid lane. As Afreeca, they're not actually going to get a whole lot of chip damage, as Ezreal not here yet.
That's a toughie. Peanut does have the Unbreakable Will, so relatively undivable against the Afreeca Freecs. Feeling pretty good about that one. There's the Duskblade to come through here. Rich going to get cocooned, though. Takes a heck of a lot of damage, gets himself a Battle Dance shield, and will survive for the moment. Might give Afreeca the ability to counter-push this mid lane. As yes, Senan's looking for the dive, wants to find Headbutt Pulverize range, but Peanut going to keep himself safe. No mana, though, as Ruler's forced to just clean up this minion wave in the mid lane and move on back. This is GenG conceding almost everywhere on the map, constantly. Afreeca pushing the envelope, getting that pressure back after GenG having that decent run, taking down the bottom outer turret, and then the mid lane.
In the current lane assignments right now, Kiana up there in the top lane. It's a minute until the second Cloud Dragon comes up. It's not super crucial that GenG try to contest it. They do have the option of just taking coordinated team fights at specific timings, and thus Afreeca wouldn't benefit all that much from having the two Cloud Dragons. Much akin to having Mountains, but being unable to push objectives.
As we witnessed in our most recent series, Kingzone bearing the brunt of that particular problem. And Afreeca just feeling like they're getting to more and more control. It's not being demonstrated in the gold at all just yet, but as the game goes on, I can't help but feel like this squad has just more possibilities as far as what this competition can do. They have frontline in Senan, they have DPS of magic and the physical variety in multiple forms. Ucal, Dread, Kiin, and Amy all able to do a whole bunch. And they've also got that lockdown CC, they've got pick CC, they've got poke options in aiming. They've just got basically a bit of everything.
Yeah. Oh man.
Speaking of which,
the Ezreal is so scary at this situation that GenG have arrived at in this game.
well, Rich, you can see he's in position looking for that flank. No vision available. He is in darkness. As Aiming going to move on over. Rich is going to find the ult against the wall. Explosion! Goodbye, Ezreal. He's so good at picking up that ground and smacking people against the wall with it.
Meanwhile, up here in the top lane, Kiin gets the top turret to 50% HP. Oh, man.
All right, it's a big roam over, but we're not going to see too much. Steal on the blue buff as Life. Okay, going to put a ward down first. That's better than face checking. But in a turret now being threatened on the bottom side. Rich is becoming a threat on this map. That gold lead, sorry, that CS lead is narrowing between himself and Ucal as the Kiin is getting free time in these side lanes. And that's what Afreeca need to be scared of. They know that GenG's composition is far more one-dimensional than their own, but Afreeca are playing to the GenG playstyle rather than trying to force their flexibility onto GenG.
And with how the current game is going, Afreeca, they just have to be careful. Baron's the only real objective on the map now for the foreseeable future. There's going to be another Cloud Dragon coming up in 4 minutes, but as I already mentioned, it's not the highest priority target really for either team, even though it would be the second Cloud Dragon.
Yep.
So like,
it's really, really windy.
Yeah.
I think that goes from like stormy day to hurricane.
Is that how you feel?
Ooh,
is there?
Rich just pegs Kiin into the wall. Kiin not really understanding the damage ranges, but will find the auto attacks and turns it around. Who cares whether this champion's doing all crazy stuff? I'm just going to auto you and you'll die.
You know, I think he understood the damage ranges just fine.
Yeah, I have a feeling. I was ready to say that Rich was about to win that one, but just didn't quite have enough to get him over the line.
Well, having Kiana fall right there is really problematic for the tempo. If she lived, it completely changes the face of the map, especially if Kiin ended up dying in that whole debacle. But now instead, several waves going to be pushed back into GenG. And this Kennen is just getting stronger, and he's a ticking time bomb for the GenG team comp.
Yep, and he's got a whole bunch more money that he wants to spend very soon as well. Durham's Fist there. We'll see whether that builds into the Frozen Mallet just to make him more of a menace in these side lanes. And he's got an extra recurve, so it looks like it might be the Rage Blade option to come in from the Kennen. No point in building something like a Wit's End this game, given the fact that the only magic damage is going to be in the form of Peanut and Life. We're not going to be getting much this game. Alright, well, Rich is going to make his way back onto the map, feeling a little bit sheepish after that 1v1. As we check it out once again, it baited me completely. I thought that this was going to be an opportunity.
Yeah, it looked like Kennen was just going to go down immediately, but Slicing Maelstrom with a beautiful stun right there.
And the flash timing just so good. Avoided that last auto attack for as long as it took to take the entirety of Rich's health bar.
I mean, the other thing that we saw is that Kiin was cheating. I mean, in that replay, we saw that he had a couple of minions on his side. It just wasn't a fair fight.
Yeah, I think that's why I thought that the damage ranges were going to be an issue.
Perfectly acceptable, Atlas.
Yeah.
I understand.
Sometimes you make an error. But it was a sick outplay from Kiin, and he's very good at it. He's done this before, as we're going to get another move back. Goodbye, Rich. And he's punished yet again. 1-3-2 now for the Kiana, and Afreeca are going to think about heading onto a Baron. Teleport's going to come forward, and Ucal is being the Guardian this time, known as an Emperor, and also guards the Baron pit pretty effectively. No ultimate available, but just does have a lot of DPS at his disposal. Peanut is going to get into the area as, yes, Senan's going to boop him. We're just going to focus down the Baron buff. Peanut's just going to get eliminated. What the heck? Life just dives on in there. He's got the spellbook. He smited it down. And Afreeca thought they'd got him out of there. They thought Peanut was checked, but Life wasn't. And he'll steal away the purple buff for GenG.
That was a 3-level smite difference, too, between Life and Dread. And that's going to keep
sometimes
GenG
Life comes at
game.
you fast, LS, and this time it really did.
With the quickness?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Life runs right in there, steals it. I think that was 500.
Yeah, 500. That was about the limit of Life's ability to smite right there, and he survived.
Well, Down with the quickness, you know, that's,
Yeah.
that's what GenG is singing right now. As Afreeca, they're going to be feeling a little bit disturbed after that Baron.
I started with a terrible life fun and then you finish it off. Just beautiful stuff. GenG still with a deficit, but a Baron for 2.5 minutes. And remember, this is the team that has the best Baron power plays. So far it's 1,000 gold, and there is a lot of standing gold on this map. And now with a Baron available for Rich, his split push. Oh, he doesn't actually have it. He was dead at the time. Never mind. When it comes to Rich and this Kiana, I just get this wrong.
That's okay.
That's how it's working at the moment.
It's
he's
a
still
part
split
of her
pushing.
usage of elements and stuff. You're being deceived.
Hey, yeah, there we go.
There you go. See, I always got your back.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Rageblade is done for Kiin. He's very good at pushing down minion waves and turrets in side lanes. Vision now getting claimed here from GenG to allow them to move in and out of the enemy jungle, but Afreeca, they still got some power on their side. See whether they can utilize it to pull things back and avoid this power play from getting out of control. One turret has been taken already. That's going to even things out here. Is CuVee going to pick up this bottom wave? GenG going to get counter pushed. 4 members in the mid lane on the Afreeca side. And they're still feeling like they're strong enough to take the fight to GenG.
A minute remaining on the Baron, but so far it hasn't been the strongest of power plays.
Yep, Sun turret going to be picked up, so it's the world's shortest ARAM here in the mid lane between GenG and Afreeca. Dredge making his way over to the side, Rich lying in wait.
With an ARAM?
Yeah.
Is this what you want to see?
Oh yeah, of course, always.
Alright. I watched LCS this morning. You?
Yeah, I did too. Clutch game, they won the game.
They did win the game.
They won it.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say. Some video games were played.
Oh, hold on. 30 seconds remaining on the Baron.
Yep, Rich in a flanking position.
I'm getting some clutch TSM vibes right now. Okay.
Posturing, bit of posturing. Afreeca Barrage spots that Bertha has been eliminated, and Afreeca Freecs now wanting to get revenge, but instead they're going to lose one of their fortifications. Goodbye inner turret bottom lane, and GenG, good rotation so far is Dread. He's now the one setting a trap. Ruler looking for the Xayah gank on the bottom side. Will pair up with Peanut. Does find Dread, trades a Cocoon, and now they're going to dive on forward. Rich taking a lot of damage as he dives back. The audacity is going to be countered by Kiin. Now Peanut down to half health, but does have the Unbreakable Will, and Kiin gets exhausted, but it's after he's done all of the damage. Blade Caller comes in, Ruler takes control of the fight, and Kiin's going to be taken down. It's life that gets him with the grand entrance, and True Shot Barrage is going to whip completely. Only aiming in Ucal to survive after this one, and GenG going to win the fight 3-2.
Yeah, they end up winning it off the back of that hero save by Ruler, where Afreeca, it almost looked like they thought that Ruler might have been on cooldown as they funneled into that narrow corridor.
And just quietly, Ruler's also built himself up a 450 gold bounty and a 30 CS lead and 3 of his items. So, yeah, I think that Baron falling down was a huge problem for the Afreeca Freecs.
Yeah. They're going to have another crack at it in just a second, though. As we take a look at this replay, Rich, he gets knocked up. He goes over the wall. Kiin is there to greet him. And it was a nice knock-up by CuVee. Ucal going golden. Almost looking like he was going to take a lot more, or he was thinking he would take a lot more damage.
Oh.
But honestly, you have to wonder what they're doing chasing Xayah like that.
Maybe just thinking the fact that Kiana was dead, they had the upper hand as far as who was in the fight, and also the exhaust was just straight up whiffed on Kiin. But if you all get snared at the same time against a team composition that does have a lot of AoE options, then you die. That's just how that one works. As Rich, the Dirk count is up to 3, and he's starting to really build that lethality. And we saw in that last fight, the Supreme Display of Talent didn't quite get any value. He did get the wall bonk, but there was no one near the wall, and therefore didn't have a lot of good stuff. feel like it's a really difficult ultimate to use perfectly in a lot of situations.
Ooh.
As Afreeca looking to dive onto GenG here. Life moving very quickly. Open boots. Oh, to protect Ruler.
The Azir turret.
Yeah.
That's actually...
Infernal Drake in 30 seconds. Baron in 1.
Yeah, not that bad of a turret.
Wow, they're just going to start it up again.
Yeah.
Do you remember what happened last time, guys?
You know what? I do remember. Oh,
Rich in position. Going to be able to get the ult down. Looking for Dread. Gets the pick off. Good God, the burst damage is huge. He does get destroyed in the end, but that is no jungler for the next 40 seconds. GenG might be able to turn that Baron play on its head.
oh, life.
Yep, gonna find the quickness. 3 locked up immediately. Ucal not gonna be involved in this fight. The Unbreakable Will there onto Senan, but look at Ruler's DPS. Able to go through that damage mitigation and aiming now. Gonna have to try and get out of there. The Abscond gonna be dodged, but the flash is gonna be there. The triple kill for Ruler. He wants aiming as well. Huge knock-up, and CuVee is gonna grab the ace. GenG could take the Baron, or they could push forward. The world is their oyster.
And at this point, they're certainly going to get the mid-tier 2. What's going to be the decision after that? Looks like they want to push forward. Never mind now. They're breaking to the left. Peanut doesn't quite have Smite yet. It'll definitely be up as they start the Baron. It's up right now. Now, Dread is alive.
But Life does have that spellbook, so a teleport has been picked up. He's going to make his way towards the mid lane. And you can see Rich, he's moving towards this Infernal Drake. This is called wanting your cake and then eating it too. As the Baron will go down, and now they're in position to challenge Dread for this Infernal Drake as well. Dread moves on in predictably, and he's going to be able to steal away the Rift Scuttler. But vision established, swept out. GenG should be able to challenge. They decided to go for a reset first. If Afreeca are decisive, they should be able to take this Drake as Teleport's going to come forward. GenG not wanting to give this one up. Wasting some time on the Baron as CuVee is going to move on down. Finds the knock-up, gets 2 with it. Dread in trouble. The Infernal Drake is going to go over to Afreeca, but can they keep themselves alive? Senan, a hero in the backline, but he's just destroyed as Ucal has to shift some sands to get out. He gets himself a drive-by blue buff, but they lose their support, and now GenG with Baron can freely push 4 versus 5.
Now, interestingly enough, the Baron, it has 2.5 minutes remaining. They don't have a wave in bottom just yet. CuVee, it looks like he's going to run down there. And their top wave is also not in the best of positions. So, if Afreeca only bleed an inhibitor in mid lane and then a tier 3 inhibitor turret, the Infernal Dragon will come into play for the 3rd Baron, and it can prove to be really, really powerful.
Yeah, not to mention the fact that the Afreeca Freecs can play that you have to make a bad decision game in 4 minutes time as that Elder is going to be coming up. They've got 4 Drakes, one of them being a really good one, and Double Cloud actually when augmented with Elder means you're booking it around this map as Rich just looking to murder someone as they make their way past. And I think that he kills Dread before he gets out of the stun of the Supreme Display of Talent. So if that face check does happen, they may just die. Peanut onto the top side, and there we are, Dread's just dead. That's what we were talking about. And is that a Supreme Display of Talent, or is that just press all your buttons at the very squishy spider?
And it really does look like
Dread. Flash forward from Ruler, headbutt. Has to be utilized, Grand Entrance comes down, Senan does have ultimate, doesn't have to use it. Is going to be okay, but 2 turrets, 1 inhibitor going to go down here in the base of the Afreeca Freecs. Feels like GenG have created enough control. And I love this. I love that Rich just plays, I'm going to hide in a brush, and I will kill you if you move forward. Afreeca just have to be so much more respectful. It's like mid lane Evelyn's back again as Senan's going to get pulled back, and the 2nd inhibitor is going to go down. Peanut dashing out of the way. CuVee taking a fair bit of damage. Rich going to go golden. Will need to try and get out of there, but the audacity ain't going to be enough. And Ucal's going to be able to clear him out. GenG, I like the fact that they're playing aggressive, but maybe a little bit too aggressive on Rich's part, as we're going to have a look at Dread's health bar disappear.
Now, looking at this, you know, I really like that you said mid lane Evelyn is back, but it really does remind me of Season 3 and Season 4.
I feel like Deathfire Grasp is back, you know, that's what it feels like, man.
That's what it definitely does feel like. We also just got confirmation Xayah is a hummingbird.
Okay.
We did see that she was able to float or fly in the same spot, okay?
Hey, yeah, that's true.
So
I actually didn't know quite which genus of bird Zaya
now,
was.
now
and
you know.
Now I know. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. Look at you. Not only incredibly good at commentary, but just very good at giving us that bird knowledge.
I just felt like that was actually my calling,
All right.
you know?
If you were to have a bird call, what would it sound like?
What bird noise just lets you know that you did something wrong and it's really obnoxious? I imagine
Aw.
a crow.
Aw.
That
Goose.
sounds pretty bad.
Definitely a goose.
Is it a goose?
Yeah, because, you know, you're a silly goose.
Oh, are you wait a minute. Are you trying to make like an Aflac commercial type thing because
I
it
have,
wanted
I have
your
no
money?
idea what that is.
And I want your Twitch Prime. Is that what's going on here?
Jesus, you'll take any opportunity, won't you? Shameless. This guy's shameless. Well, Ruler alone on the bottom side of the map right now as the rest of GenG pushing on forward. Ruler will be able to deal with all of these minions. He's got 6 items, guys. He's pretty good. Peanut with his Banshee's Veil going to protect it as he picks up a True Shot Barrage and might just throw it at Ucal and Dread. Has the opportunity to. Does find Dread. Yeah, looks like he just takes about a quadrillion damage from everything. And you'll notice that Dread didn't build a Morellonomicon this game.
Ooh.
Which is great.
I'm gonna have to get him. I'm gonna have to get him a gift.
Yeah?
Yeah, he's helping out.
Is it going to be a win?
It's helping out my eyes. Okay.
Yeah, making you feel better. Oh, even Ucal playing for you as well. I mean, there's not very much magic damage, so having these Zonya's Hourglass is definitely working out
The
here for
first
these guys.
series too, there was a Void Staff. I believe.
Yeah.
I think someone
has shown them the English
Someone's been using a
broadcast.
calculator.
Yeah. All right, Peanut looking for the engage, has the Unbreakable Will. As Afreeca Freecs might be a little bit too far up. The Unlying in wait, so much vision here.
So
For
this
GenG.
is basically the situation that I mentioned a little bit earlier, where had Afreeca not bled out the additional inhibitor in top,
Yeah.
they would have been in a really good position, having gotten the Infernal, even though they lost the Baron. And how many times is Rich going to be able to get away with one-shotting one of the members? Oh, GenG just wants to flip. Oh, man. Oh,
Well,
but this is
Kiana
going to be an
is in a
insane
decent flank position. Exactly. Life is there as well. The quickness is going to be available. A teleport very late coming in from Kiin. So the Elder is going to go over to GenG. And there it is. The Grand Entrance onto 3. All the AoE damage. The wall explodes, but it's a great Emperor's Divide. Just a little bit too little and way too late. Ucal goes golden. The Zonyas is going to prevent his life for a couple of seconds, but it ain't going to prevent the GenG squad from winning this game.
And it looks like now they're just going to barrel down into mid lane. There's no way. Yeah.
It's over.
It's
It
over.
is definitely over.
I
That
don't know where I
first
was
Baron
going.
steal.
Yeah,
This is all about how good life is sometimes, LS.
Life comes at you fast.
It
as
does.
you said.
This is about LS, aka life skills, not LS, aka life sucks. That's what this game is about. Just really great play from the support player of GenG, stealing away a Baron and then starting up all the right fights.
Yeah, I mean, the Baron steal is the real highlight of the match, because this is definitely a robbery.
That is this is an adorable drawing. I'm kind of terrified. It's like something about the way those eyes were drawn. There was an emptiness there that I couldn't unsee. And look, we were shouting out Rich's Kiana. We wanted it. It didn't get banned. It made it through to the second round of the draft, and GenG utilized it very, very well. We were wondering what it was going to do, but Rich found that early roam, which got him just enough gold to get to the point where no one could face check him in a brush in the late game, and GenG were able to play around getting some of that vision control. But I think it all just came down to that steal of the Baron by Life.
Yeah.
If that didn't happen...
If it doesn't happen, they lose the game.
Yeah.
And Afreeca brought it back at several points. Even this was considered a pretty salvage spot until they continued to position the way that they did, and Life kept finding openings.
How does a game happen where I think that Ruler was not in that fight whatsoever, and Ucal got a 4-man Emperor's Divide, and still they handedly lost the fight. I mean, the Elder Drake was certainly helping there, but it was only one cloud that was augmented by that Elder, right? So it's not exactly boosting them up a whole lot. Yes, they've got the burn damage, but it's not crazy relevant when you're not exactly able to get a lot of those autos off because there was a Slicing Maelstrom and there was that Emperor's Divide. It was just the fact that that pickoff was so good from Life to start off that fight. Really fun series so far between GenG and the Afreeca Freecs, and we'll see whether Afreeca can turn it around and find maybe that Kiana, ban button in game number 2. Because maybe it's not about whether or not you can play against it in the laning phase or anything like that, because Ucal smashed him in lane, right?
Yeah.
He was ahead by about a bajillion CS, but it just didn't seem to matter.
It definitely looked like they were inexperienced playing around the Kiana, and that's a problem because she's a new champion, disabled for a while, not getting a lot of play in scrims, also getting banned a lot.
Yeah.
How much do you really know about her?
That's a really good point. I certainly learnt a lot based on that series. The first Kiana win in the LCK. We'll see whether the second comes up after a short break, guys. Don't go anywhere.
나 여기 있다.
그냥 먹다가 쌈 봐도 돼. 꼭 안 먹어도 돼 우리.
빨리 한번
때릴게. 쌈을 볼 생각하자.
오케이.
먹자. 일단 먹고.
나 이거
나도. 이겼어 무조건 이겼어.
아직 이만하다.
끝났어.
밀가.
나이스.
너를래 1위?
잘했어 얘들아. 쌌다.
라칸 벌레
아니 보자 했는데 안 봐.
조심해.
아니 라칸
됐어.
라칸 극혐이야.
쌌어.